Yes, it works. It works flawlessly. Good morning.
Hey, how are you?
Good. How are you doing?
Fantastic.
Fantastic as ever.
Yeah, what's up?
Just ready to play some golf. I saw you were practicing.
Yeah, it didn't go well.
It didn't go well. Two and a
No,
half hours. I was like, I opened up Steam and it said, Bobby's played this game for 2.5 hours. And I was like, are you kidding me? He said he wasn't going
well,
to
that's
practice.
not true. That is not true. It might have been open, but I played it for about 2.5 minutes. But it was fun. I'm excited.
Good, good, good. Y'all, I can't make him louder. Okay. I'm just making sure that your volume levels are good for my stream.
Test 1, 2. Can you hear me okay?
I hear you great. Let me see if they can hear you now. Let's see. Chat, help me, please. Can you hear him?
Am I going to be able to see you?
No, because I have my camera streaming to my stream PC, so it won't work.
Okay.
But if you, I don't know if they told you to open up Twitch or not, but you can watch it on there. Stop, guys.
Oh, wow. That's okay.
Okay, perfect. Well, do you want to like just hop in and then we can get started while we attempt to play this game?
Yeah, do you mean go into the other channel or we're just doing it here?
Oh, no, I just mean, do you want me to start the golf game and then we can just start chatting? Hi,
Oh, yeah.
Veronica. Yeah, you said the first curse word. Let it be known.
I'm in.
Woo! Okay, wait. I'm ready, and then we start. Okay, this is a lot different than golf with your friends.
Okay, you have to go first, though. That's the rule.
Wait, what? I didn't learn the directions. Oh,
Good shot.
are you being sarcastic? I turned collision on. So it's gonna be bad. Wait, how do I turn this music back on like a little? Wait, I have
Oh,
to
my
keep
God.
going?
Well, I don't know. I think it says.
What is this? This is so much harder than the other game I've played. Oh my god.
Things are looking up.
What is this? What is this? Okay, you know what? What up, lettuce?
Okay.
That's so hard. Okay, he
Oh, man.
practiced. Not enough, though.
All right. So, how's your day going so far?
My day's really good. We played a little bit of Escape from Tarkov. Okay, we get it. You're good. And you know, just kind of hanging out. How's yours? I wanted to know about the how you start your day on a Thursday of all days as a CEO of a company.
Yeah. Usually not nearly as early as I hoped. So I always try to get up early to get a workout in, and I'd say my success rate on that is about 25%. And then when I don't, though, I usually work out at night. But yeah, Bitstamp is a European-based company, so the time zone makes it such that my mornings are packed with meetings because that's active time zone in Europe, and then my afternoons I get to actually do some work, which is nice.
Oh, okay. I like to be up by like 7:30, and sometimes I oversleep a little and I'll just hit start stream and like make my breakfast while my intro's going and that kind of stuff. But I can't work out in the morning. I've tried it many times. I have to work out at like 3 p.m.
Yeah, I used to be all morning because it's the only time that kind of worked schedule-wise.
Thank you, Squid.
But now I'm starting to like afternoons. I think that's better actually.
Yeah, I feel like my brain is a little bit more awake at that time.
Well, it's just painful in the morning. It just hurts. At least for me.
So I was curious, how much time do you spend like with your job on social media, if any, really? I maybe
Um,
got aggressive just now.
well, we've got a real active social media strategy. And sorry, I'm just watching your strategery here.
It's not good. I wouldn't follow what I'm doing.
Uh, so yeah, Twitter is very, very active in the crypto space. It's a great source of information. Well, it's a good source of information. It also can be a source of a lot of distraction. Um, and of course, LinkedIn is also increasingly a useful place to be kind of visible and in dialogue as a company. Thankfully, I've got a great team that supports me and helps me figure out what I need to, what's the best way to get our messages across. Okay, that didn't go well.
Honestly, that's not bad at all because if you just go to the left, the hole's around.
This way?
Go left. Right? The other left.
Oh, you're kidding me.
It looked left from my perspective, but your camera was probably turned around on it. I'm not trying to get you to lose on purpose, I swear.
Yeah, I was gonna say, hang on.
I was gonna say.
I definitely should look at this hole before I start. So yeah, social media is really, really important. It's just such a great source,
We know,
not just
Bobbert.
for kind of news and updates, but you can, as a company, you can get your personality out there a little bit, and in the crypto space, we can have fun with it. We can have fun with it a bit, which is nice.
How long have you been in crypto?
Well, as a full-time job, oh baby.
That's a good question, Soda.
As a full-time job, 5 years approximately, but I've been involved kind of personally, professionally, even before that. It's a bit of a twisted tale.
Okay. I just flew over the edge. Someone in my chat said, what made you want to work with streamers as part of like Bitstamp's initiative? I guess is that the good way to word?
Great question. The the basic answer is we just see a ton of parallels between kind of innovation in crypto and innovation in gaming. And we see a lot of parallels in community also around it. So I view the gaming industry as a great model, basically. There's such strong community, there's such strong participation and collaboration throughout the gaming community, and just a ton of innovations. Just I think just from a kind of a business perspective, there's a ton of innovation. And so so that's where the conversation starts. And then the second reason is because I think there's a lot of possibilities between the industries. Should I go now? Are you still
Yeah, no, you can go. We can go at the same time too.
Good. So I think there's a lot of ways that the two industries can can work together and do more stuff. So I think crypto technology can be super helpful. Oh, are you kidding me?
I did that.
Super helpful in the gaming world. I'm just gonna hang out here for a while.
There's a 2-minute timer, but yeah, I'm sorry.
Well,
we can go at the same time too, though.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. I was curious if you've had, because like something I talk about a lot in my stream, or like especially when I first decided to work with you guys, was there's a lot of pushback in the gaming industry on crypto as a whole, even though a lot of it's really misunderstood. So I was just curious if you've dealt with that yet, like, or if you've noticed it at all.
Yeah, there's you know, it's so interesting how generational these things become, I think, and you know, there's a lot of perspectives out there, and unfortunately, there's a ton of misinformation out there, I think,
Immortals, do you
in the
know if
space,
they offer services
or
in South
affecting the
Africa,
space. Um,
or if you're
yeah,
here?
concentrate. I think this is a game. Yeah. Um, and so, you know, specifically, I think that people associate crypto with, you know, kind of what I would call a, you know, speculation in the world, or gambling, or scams, right? So, and I don't view it that way. Obviously, crypto, you know, came into the world with a, you know, definitely trying to solve a
That's a
problem
really good
that
question,
was
Monica.
perceived by, you know, the person who created it, or the people. So, you know,
I will
do you
ask
know
that
this
one. Remind me.
lore around Satoshi Nakamoto and why he came up with Bitcoin?
I read it like 4 or 5 years ago, and I actually don't remember any of it. And I'm sure that they would love to hear it too.
Yeah, and I'll try to keep it. I'll try to keep it brief. Besides, I just enjoyed that shot.
Dang it.
Uh, basically, you know, Satoshi Nakamoto is an alias for a person or people who, you know, really identified a problem, at least in their minds, which was, oh, you got to go all the way around. So, which was that individuals who,
These
you
are
know,
really
work their
good
whole
questions.
lives to, you know, create some wealth
I
or
wish
some
we had more
financial
time.
security, are very dependent on, um, you know, institutions and other people in order to maximize the value of what they have earned. And it shouldn't be this way, was the perspective, that individuals should have some independence, some sovereignty, so that they're not dependent on, you know, a group of old white men in some room somewhere who are deciding what their dollar is worth, or what their peso is worth, or what have you. And so the idea of Bitcoin was to create independence and allow individuals to be able to manage their own value that they create or that they earn, and then also to enable them to move that value from one place to another. So right now, if you want to send some money to your parents
It
in
is supported
Venezuela,
in
for
South
example,
Africa.
you have to
Stan.
depend on an institution to do that, and they charge you a lot of money for that privilege, and you if that transaction happens or doesn't happen, it's because of this institution. So Satoshi's idea was to, can we just put the power into people's hands, let them manage their own
There's
wealth
so many good
that's not
questions.
dependent on any institution. And in the US, you know, we're pretty fortunate. We've got
Daddy, I
you know,
just saw
we've got
yours too.
institutions that you can generally count on. You know, I say generally, some people might disagree with that point of view. Um, but in a lot of parts of the world, that's not the case. You're subject to governments and
He's talking
institutions, whether
live.
they're banks or central banks, and they're not reliable. Oh God.
Oh.
Um, and what happens? Well, you end up working your whole life for a bunch of money that evaporates because, you know, Venezuela had, you know, a million percent inflation last year. So all
That's
of that hard
insane.
work you spent your whole life earning just goes away, and that's, you know, that
Marsh,
doesn't
thanks for the Prime sub.
you know, create the kind of society that a lot of people think is most valuable. So that was the idea with Bitcoin and cryptocurrency. Now, blockchain technology, which underpins it, it 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 has many other uses, and we're seeing that play out in the world, um, which is quite interesting because it is a system that allows individuals to collaborate and move value around, and move value around with certainty. It's called an immutable distributed ledger.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I can give you a quick example.
I know that so like the way one of my friends kind of described it to me is like, it's not just crypto related. Like they can use blockchain technology for like medical records to like make those more secure and stuff like that.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh.
There's so many different applications of blockchain technology. And, if you think about it, if it's done right, you have essentially one ledger instead of multiple ledgers. So today, if we just take your medical records example, every hospital system has some version of you in it. And if you seek treatment in one versus the other, there's a gap, and there's not plumbing in place for that information to flow easily from one hospital system to another, or from one physician group to another. But with blockchain technology, instead of everybody having their independent ledger, there's one ledger. Basically, there's one set of records that everybody or every institution or organization has access to. And so, we think that's quite powerful and would create, amazing efficiencies in the world.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I have like, everyone in chat has the best questions ever, and I'm gonna start asking some of those as well. What is, oh God, I already lost it. For people who can't afford to put a lot of money into crypto, what is a way that they can get involved in that space?
Yeah, that's one of the beautiful things about crypto is you can literally invest, $1. It's completely fractionalized. So you can, we measure Bitcoin out to 10 decimal places in terms of how fractional you can slice it. And so you can invest any amount of money. And in the investment use case is an interesting one, particularly as it relates to Bitcoin, but there's a lot of other use cases too, as it relates to crypto.
Okay. So like, I mean, so you're basically saying like you can invest any small amount, just like do your research on where you're putting it, and you don't have to, it's not like other stuff where you have to invest like a larger amount to see any payoff.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's not traditional in that way at all. So in the current traditional financial services space, it's not easy to invest in a lot of asset classes. You have to sometimes be an accredited investor, which means you have to have so much liquidity available. You have so much money in your accounts, and in crypto, it's much more democratized than that. Anybody can participate, and there's lots of ways to do it. Now, like you alluded to earlier, getting educated is really important. We're talking about real money here with real value and real risk. So, so you gotta get invest some time to really understand the possibilities and also the risk. So at Bitstamp, for instance, we're just in the next month launching what we call a Learn Center, and it's designed to enable people, either early stage crypto people or people who've been in crypto for a while, to get useful information and manage, find the best path for them into the marketplace.
Oh, that's awesome. I didn't know y'all were doing that, and I feel like I should.
Yeah, we're really excited about it.
That's really cool.
Because the challenge with the learning curve is not just that
I'll ask. Immortals,
there is
is
some
there info
study
on that yet?
required, or there's some learning required, but it's also, there's so much information out there. So where do you start? Like,
Oh shoot.
what's a reliable, trustworthy set of information? Because not all information is created equal. There's a lot of noise. There's a lot of noise in the system. Yeah.
So
So
they're excited about this Learn Center and they want to know how to be involved or like when that's rolling out. But I also want to get to someone else's question that is, what is Bitstamp? Like what are your selling points for Bitstamp compared to other exchanges that are out there?
yeah, glad you asked. So Bitstamp is distinguished and different from many of the players in the crypto space for a few reasons. The first one is we are the longest running crypto exchange. Bitstamp was founded in 2011
Oh,
when Bitcoin was worth a few pennies. And it was started in a garage in Europe by some people who really believed in the possibilities of the technology. And so, our track record is kind of unparalleled. And when you get into this space, you don't want to work with somebody who's just started up because they may not have the systems, the technology, the know-how that's required to really do it right. So that's the first thing. The second thing is,
probably right.
we have invested a little bit differently than some of our peers. So we've invested, for instance, in personalized customer support. So as we were just talking about, it's not a small decision to get involved, and you want to get involved in a smart way and in a way that fits your needs or your objectives. And most crypto companies, or many, they don't operate like financial services companies. They operate like tech companies. They operate like Facebook or something. So if you have a question or a problem, like, they don't want to talk. But Bitstamp is different. We've built out a customer support process and mindset where you can get to a person anytime, 24/7, and on average we answer the phone in 22 seconds. So we
That's
think that's
actually
important
kind of
because
crazy.
people need more than just a blog to read to make a decision as important as what am I going to do with my savings, or
22
even
seconds
a
for
portion of
customer
my
support, I feel
money.
like for an exchange is really great. 22 seconds.
Yeah. Another thing that I would say distinguishes us is, our technology. So we've been at this a long time, as I mentioned, and we've got industrial strength technology. That means Bitstamp, the exchange, doesn't go down hardly. Like our uptime is like 99.99% or something. And when you're trying to transact, that matters, because otherwise, if you're in the middle of a transaction, it goes down, then the price might change on you, or something, something not helpful will happen. So that's the other thing that we hang our hat on, as a kind of a differentiator
That's
with
actually a really
Bitstamp.
big deal. My dad gets really stressed.
Does that
Yeah,
help?
yeah, that does. I was just telling my chat, like, like my father is like super heavily like into crypto and like just staying on top of stuff in general. And there was a point where he was like asking me to help him with a PC setup because he was like, I need there to be zero downtime. Like if it matters, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, okay, calm down. Like I didn't understand why he wanted this like power PC for his trading and stuff, but it's actually really cool. Also, everyone loves your Salt Lick shirt, by the way. Just wanted to let you know that.
Yes, thank you. Best barbecue in the state of Texas.
It's really, really good. Let me find the other one. I didn't want to skip someone. With crypto not being regulated by any other entity, how do you protect your investors with like internal checks and balances? Was one of the questions that like barely hit me. Winner gets
I
losers
think
coin vault.
a couple of things. Firstly, I think it's a little bit of a misconception that it's not regulated. There are some still being defined regulations and legislation, kind of laws, for sure. But,
Why do I keep hitting it so hard?
Bitstamp is regulated in, 41 states in the U.S.
It's bopped him, dude.
Separate regulators. The other 9 don't require a license. We have, a dozen or so licenses in Europe and other parts of the world. We work very, very heavily with regulators all the time. We're working with them as a licensed financial services company, but we're also working with them to help support their efforts to create good rules, because it is a new technology.
What?
And it is it doesn't fit the old mold in terms of laws and rules neatly. So there's an awful lot to say there, but I do chuckle when people say it's unregulated. I certainly don't feel that way. I talk to regulators like way too much.
Yeah.
And then secondly, Bitstamp is in it for the long haul. There's a lot of crypto companies that try to avoid regulation, I think, because they
are you?
I don't know. They think it's bad, or it must slow them down, or what have you.
This is the CEO of Bitstamp.
We embrace it, like, not
I
because
won,
it's
though.
so fun. It's not. But we know that it's necessary for broad adoption, and that's our mission. Our mission is, we think this technology is really important for the world, and we want it to be broadly adopted. But that's not going to happen without some good laws and regulations in place. So Bitstamp is different in that regard than many crypto companies, and we're engaged with regulators all the time.
No, it's not an NFT. Something really important that I want to talk to you guys about, is this. So someone in my chat, just as a joke, said, "What is this? Some kind of NFT?" Because in the streaming space, it is just like, anytime you mention the word crypto, people heavily associate it with NFTs. And if you could just quickly explain why that's not true, or why that's not what Bitstamp is, I guess, because it's an exchange, or why those are different things, that would be great.
Yeah, for sure. So Bitstamp doesn't have any business or offering around
it's not
NFTs.
A joke, you're just wrong. Oh, okay.
What we are is an exchange. That means it's a place that anyone
Why
can
are you
come
saying
to buy
crypto,
and sell
really, Blue?
cryptocurrencies. And we list in the US about almost 30 different cryptocurrencies, and outside of the US, Bitstamp lists even more than that, about 70 cryptocurrencies. But that's out of a few thousand that are out there. And the reason we don't list all of those
Immortals,
thousands
can
of
you
potential
answer
tokens
Stan's
is they
question
don't pass muster.
for time's sake?
They don't qualify. We have a really rigorous process to decide what types of tokens are ready for the world and useful for the world, and legal. And so those are the only tokens that kind of get listed on the exchange. But it's a safe place to come and buy and sell any of those 30, or if you're outside the US, 70 or so cryptocurrencies. Now, NFTs are a different application of blockchain technology, and it's unfortunately, I think, been swept up in this kind of speculation culture that's thriving in the US and other parts of the world. We're like there's a lot of people that view this as get rich quick kind of scheme, or people used to view the stock market. I'm going to put all my money in this stock that somebody told me was going to be, super valuable in a week. And then it doesn't turn out that way. And you're the stock market sucks. But the truth is,
have a good day at work.
NFT, the idea of NFTs is interesting, I think. It's not our business. We're not focused on it, but it's quite interesting. If there's a way to use blockchain technology to enable artists as kind of the primary use case, protect their work and realize value from their work over time, I think that's a good thing. So in the current world, lots of artists toil away their whole life, and they sell a bunch of paintings for $200 each, and then 10 years after they're dead, those paintings are all worth $10 million. And no one in their family, gets any of that value, and no one in the estate of the artist gets that value. It goes to brokers. It goes to art
I guess that's like the
dealers and
intended use of
money
NFTs,
movers.
but what it turned
And
into
that
is
doesn't
just
seem
not
fair to me.
that.
So the current state of NFTs is not exactly what I'm describing, but if this idea can help artists protect their work and realize value from their work over time, that's pretty cool. And that's what blockchain technology enables you to do, because you have a record, a permanent, immutable record that everybody agrees with on the blockchain. And therefore the value can be tracked and can be delivered that way.
Bobby's wisdom.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, that's actually nice. Like, I'm not a huge fan of NFTs, but I guess like hearing the logic behind why or what they could be or intended to be is really great. It's just not what it is at yet, but hopefully it gets there.
Yeah, the state of that marketplace today is again, I feel like it's a bunch of my word is speculators, people who are like making bets and trying to pump people up on different assets and trying to get rich quick. That's not what
it's a bunch of
about. Yeah.
It's a bunch of 24-year-old finance bros.
Yeah, exactly. So this technology is not designed to enable get rich quick schemes or speculation like,
what is that?
I'm going to buy it $1 and then it's going to be $100 tomorrow.
What's that?
These tokens that are on the cryptocurrency side, they're kind of like the means. It's like an arcade, like from the old days. They're like the means to access a particular ecosystem. So many
That's
of
an
the
Immortals
cryptocurrencies
question.
out there, they have a purpose. Like their purpose is not
putting them to work
just
today.
To get invested in and appreciate in value, and then somebody sell it and make money. So for instance, some of them are designed to enable people to buy and sell computing power, right? So, there's tokens out there right now, there's suppliers of computing power like AWS, the biggest, but there's many, and there's even some individuals who would like to sell their own computing power, but unless you have a big corporation around you, it's difficult to do. But with a cryptocurrency, wrapper on that, you could actually use a token to buy and sell, computing power on your own. But the token is important because otherwise, how would you transact? Now, what has happened is, as some of these use cases get traction,
I mean, they're the longest running crypto
valuable.
Exchange, y'all.
And so that's kind of
they've been around for a long time
versus like the thesis of the token. And again, in today's society, it's like it's getting
I'm
a little
actually
bit
learning so much.
People are just thinking of it as an investment scheme.
Yeah, definitely. I'm actually really excited. I've learned like a ton today. And
well, can I ask you 2 questions?
Yeah, absolutely.
So can you just talk for one more minute about the skepticism out there? Like, what are you thinking, hearing, feeling about this space?
So I'll give you an example of like just a lot of it comes from Twitter cancel culture. So there were some streamers that were pushing an altcoin and then they rug pulled. So like people got like, they're like, oh, all crypto's a scam. It hit the gaming industry really hard because of these big creators that had a lot of influence and then rug pulled their viewers. So that's where some of it comes from. And then that just like kind of trickled into NFTs and stuff. It like as a whole with all of the like NFT scams that kind of happened, or like some of it was like fraud related. But if you go to Twitter and you look, like there would be, even some of my peers would tweet like, oh, I just found out this YouTuber I like is into blockchain technology. And this is an actual tweet that happened, by the way, is into blockchain technology. Time to unsubscribe. And I was like, that is such a like vague thing for someone to be into, for you to just decide to like not associate with them anymore. Because And it's just verbiage like that that makes me realize that people genuinely are not researching what crypto is as a whole. And it actually came into effect with me heavily whenever I was asked or approached about being sponsored with you guys. It was something I had to think about because I was like, I'm gonna get canceled. And I was like, but like I researched you guys heavily before I decided to like move forward with it. And I was like, listen, like I don't want to like, I want to use my platform to like encourage people to learn about it and maybe like stop this like negative view that everyone has on it. I want to like help people to understand it a little bit more. And like, while I'm not the most knowledgeable, like I'm at least like opening a doorway with when like Immortals is in here moderating my chat and they're like helping answer questions. It's really, really helpful and nice. But yeah, that like, I blame Twitter for most things, and that negative view is Twitter's a little bit to blame for that one.
Yeah, unfortunately, you know, the way social media is evolving, you know, kind of extreme negative views.
What's Cardano? I think they have a list of their coins on their site, Stan.
Visibility.
I think it was Lettuce. Yeah, Phase.
So it is creating that kind of like, let's call it less than open-mindedness. But that's why we're focused on the Learn Center. Like our conclusion is, like I mentioned at the beginning, there's just an information gap, right? So there's a lot of people who are jumping to bad conclusions about it. And then there's a lot of people who are very interested in it, but they don't know where to start and how to start. So, you know, we're all about, you know, adoption and enabling people to engage or participate wherever they are, if they're brand new to it or if they've been involved in a while. So this Learn Center is a
Stan,
big part
I have
of that,
no clue.
push, but there's
Immortals
going
might
to be a
know
lot more
though.
coming
Immortals
out
might
as
know
well.
everything.
We've got a lot of new
They're
products
smarter than
coming
me.
out over the next couple of months that are designed to be simple for people who are newer to the marketplace, so that they can get educated easily, understand the different kind of tokens and options out there, and then buy and sell. And again, you can do it with $1, you can do it with $100, you can do it with whatever amount.
I do also, really quick before I forget, want to get into like one other really big reason people are super wary. And again, this comes from like bandwagoning on Twitter, but a lot of people are mega concerned with environmental impact.
Yeah, this is a big topic, huge topic, and it's the right topic, right? So, you know, I think this is, you know, state the obvious, just one of the most pressing and important issues that, you know, our generation's got to deal with. I think though it's a little bit mischaracterized sometimes in the media. So there's two questions. There's, you know, one is like how much energy is being consumed by the crypto industry or Bitcoin in particular gets singled out a lot. And then secondly, how is that energy you know, sourced or created? So in other words, a big focus in the crypto industry is both reducing the consumption, which I'll talk about, and then secondly, making sure that the energy is sourced in with renewable technologies versus fossil fuels. So, you know, the latest study I've seen, unfortunately, is kind of old, but in 2020 there was a major study on crypto and energy consumption, and at that time it was 40% sourced with renewable sources: wind, water, solar. And today, I gotta believe it's much, much higher because it's been such a focus for crypto and for the world. But I don't have an actual stat yet. But anyway, that's an important part of the story that nobody's, at least the media, doesn't seem to be telling or talking about. The other part is consumption. So many areas of the ecosystem are converting how they secure their network from what's called a proof of work protocol to a proof of stake protocol. Ethereum is the largest such token that's making this change, and that reduces energy consumption in the case of Ethereum by about 99.5%, and that's because you know,
ETH
in
2.0.
proof of work protocols,
ETH.
it requires a lot of computation in order to secure the network. And in proof of stake protocols, it requires a different mechanism, which has to do with staked assets or held assets. So that's a really important trend in the industry, and obviously for all the right reasons, getting a lot of attention and traction. So I think, you know, when when either the media or all the geniuses on Twitter say, "Oh, you know, crypto, you know, they consume as much energy as Dubai or something like that," I don't think they're talking about where that energy coming from and, you know, how is it
Hey,
being
Polar.
reduced. The other thing I think is missing, quite frankly, although this might piss some people off, is, you know, if you look at some other industries like gold mining, for instance, and you look at the environmental impact of gold mining versus Bitcoin, it's much, much worse. But I don't see people like freaking out about having gold, you know, jewelry or earrings. So I also think it needs to be put into context. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's like one of the things that like I always try to use when I like, because I even have some of my friends like were like, well, we knew you wouldn't take a deal if you didn't research it and blah 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 blah, but like, oh, it's just an exchange. And I was like, yeah, but like I still have, like, I invest. And they're like, oh, well, aren't you worried about XYZ? I'm like, dude, don't even get me started. Like, you, like, some of the stuff that like you are involved in or like have in your own home even like are contributing factors to this. I was like, you don't recycle. Like, are you gonna sit here and preach at me like about about Bitcoin right now? But it's just it's a really just Twitter is a bandwagon you hold, and the cancel culture that's like associated, especially in gaming around that like I really would love to see. I would love to see some change in that, and I'm hoping that I'm just really happy to see that the crypto industry is getting more involved with gaming like sponsorships and stuff like that too, because it's really educational for people and giving the opportunity for people to learn. And again, my chat's very excited about this learning center too, which is a really nice positive reaction.
Yeah, that's awesome. I'd love to work with you to get the word out when it launches here in a few weeks.
Yeah. Oh, a few weeks?
Yeah, September.
Oh.
I think September. Yeah, it's going to be a really cool space where,
A
you
few
know,
weeks?
it's like easily navigatable, and the information is not like, it's not shilling. You know, we're not like selling anything. It's like, it's just trying to address this information gap, trying to put the right information out, make it digestible so that people can make good decisions. That's all we really care about.
And that's like another thing that I was talked to my chat a lot about. It was like, y'all are an exchange. You're not pushing like a specific coin on anyone. You really are just trying to educate people on your exchange and crypto as a whole. So I super appreciate it, and I think my chat does too. Yeah, they seem pretty excited.
Good. Well,
I'm not
you
asking
know,
that, Soda.
at the end of the day, this is I think, a really important area of innovation. And I don't think we've figured out yet the role of cryptocurrency in the world or in society, and, you know, let alone NFTs. This is like a super new, but I do think it's important. I think it's kind of undeniable that it's going to play a major role because it's so efficient, because it's so it reduces so much uncertainty in the financial kind of services part of the world. So that's really why I'm in it. I want to be a part of that and hopefully help shape it a bit, so that it ends up being as valuable as I think it could be.
Chat has asked me like 14 times to ask you this. What do you like, pineapple on pizza?
Well, the answer is no.
All right, there you have it.
I'm sure it's delicious, but no, my Chicago Italian background does not permit me to like that.
That's fair. That's fair and valid and based and true. What is the thoughts?
All right,
Oh,
so
thanks,
I don't know.
McMuffin.
Do we have a few more minutes, or are we done? Because I have another question for you.
I have time. Ask away. I was more worried that you had to be gone, but if you have time, I have time.
I probably do. So the question is,
Hey, so
can you just give me 60 seconds on Escape from Tarkov?
pain, death, sadness, depression, super fun. Um, it's a PvEVP shooter. It's a looter shooter, and it's one of the most intense military sims I've ever played. It kind of ruined other FPS games for me because of how detailed and intricate it is. I love it, and I hate it at the same time. And it brings me happiness and pain. It's everything I want in a game. So, it's just it's really good.
And how'd you get into it?
I got into it. So I got partnered on a game called Hunt Showdown, which is another PvEVP game. But a lot of my chatters asked if I'd ever played Tarkov, and I was like, no, not really. And I looked at it. I looked at a stream. And I was like, this is so complicated. There is no way that I'm going to play this game. And finally, like, I think it was like a donation goal or something. I just was like, all right, fine, I'll try it. I opened it. I played it for like a week. I got overwhelmed and I hated it. And then I went back to it and I just fell in love and like never turned back. Because it's just like the gameplay is so intense. It's task oriented. It just has everything I look for. I just can't. I hate it sometimes though. There's days where I'm just like, I'm never playing this game ever again, dude. It's not worth it. But but it's been really good for me and my community. It won't let you walk away.
I need to check it out. I'm embarrassed to say, when I first heard of this a while back, I thought it was a Star Wars reference because of General Tarkin.
Yeah.
And I feel like, oh yeah, Star Wars, and they were like, you idiot.
Have you played any like shooter games?
I have, and it goes about as well as my golf outing went today. But
Your golf was fine.
yeah, unfortunately, I'm not at a place in my life where I have the time to spend enough to get good enough to enjoy it. Do you know what I mean?
That makes sense.
I'm mostly flailing around in there.
Oh,
but
Stan, good. I'm happy y'all liked it.
I think it would be super cool. Someday I will have some more time to spend on things like that.
Yeah, I tried to get them to get you to play Tarkov because they just introduced like an offline co-op mode, but like logistically that would have taken probably an hour just to get you to like be able to shoot the gun. So I was like, it's probably better we play golf.
No, I mean, when I see you guys play, it's like it's so fast. So
yeah,
that wouldn't.
In time, we will train you.
Yeah, for sure. Well, this has been great. I really appreciate the opportunity and appreciate all the questions. Would love to chat about this. I'm trying to get as smart as I can be about what people think about and care about and wonder about with respect to crypto. So this has been super helpful for me.
Yeah, and I'm happy to talk to you about it anytime. My chat's super grateful for this. They liked it a lot. So I am grateful as well. Thank you for your time and your golf game and yeah, all of the knowledge. That was so nice.
Thank you, Bearki, and hopefully we can do it again soon.
Absolutely. We'll talk soon. Bye.